Hello and welcome to the newspaper review here on TAP TV, where we analyze and dissect trending and catchy headlines every day. My name is Obed Jerry, your host for today, and with me here is Ekon Bright.
Nice to meet you, bro.
It's nice having you on this show once again.
Yeah, definitely.
Lest I forgot, compliments of the season.
Yeah, compliment of the season to all our viewers out there. It's the season of Christmas, so as you can see, I'm coated with my jacket because everywhere is cold, even with the sun.
Exactly.
I'm feeling a little bit cold, but we're all good. We're experiencing both the European weather and the Nigerian weather all mixed together. Exactly. But in all, it's nice to be on the show.
And like I have planned to do for the remaining days of the year, I would always ask everybody, hope you are fine, I hope you are hale and hearty, especially mentally, knowing how the country is, how the hustle and bustle going around, the news flying around.
Yeah, it's true. Nigerians, we are going through a lot, even though we think it's a festive period where everybody should be celebrating, but a whole lot is going on in our country lately. And I think it's something we should sit back, look at, and maybe hope that everything turns out better in the next coming days so that things don't keep on skyrocketing.
Exactly.
Because definitely once there is tension in the state, then every other thing around it tends to just take it's sudden twist. Maybe for the negative or positive, but we don't know. But we just hope everything becomes better in the next coming days.
Exactly, we just hope so. And to you, our viewers out there, you too can also be a part of the show. Do also turn on the notification button, like, subscribe, follow us across all our social media handles so that you get information and videos like this whenever we drop them. Without wasting much of our time, we look into the first newspaper for the day. We'll be looking at the Daily Independent newspaper. Today being the December 15, 2023, the first headline here reads, Keyamo sacks 30 aviation sector directors in one fell sweep. Details of the story is found on page 7 of the Daily Independent newspaper. We see here the banner headline here reads, Lack of comprehensive data affecting Nigeria's growth, says Tinubu. Sub-story under that reads, says having Akpabio, Abbas as partner will enable him succeed. We hope it turns out well. This is of the story is found on page 6 of the Daily Independent newspaper. Edo Guba, I will support whoever PDP supports, says Obaseki. Sub-story under that reads, denies having issues with his deputy. Details is found on page 7. Performer be sacked. Power Minister threatens head of parastatals. Details is found on page 7. You see how the main headline reads, Confusion has sacked Pro-Wike Rivers lawmakers hold plenary. Sub-story under that reads, Passed 2 bills, criticize Fubara over assembly demolition. Another sub-story under that reads, Fubara signs 800 billion naira 2024 budget, promise critical projects, 800 billion naira 2024 budget. At this time, knowing that the kind of economy we are in and how the River State government is.
It's not about the money per se. Maybe it could be that the state in general would have the revenue to cover such would I say hilarious budget.
You know, the problem is not putting out this budget, it's how to finance this budget, how to get these revenues.
Truth of the matter is that if it's about financing the budget, according to him, he said he has put in place the needed basic things that would enable him to carry out such projects. And definitely, before you come out with such budget, then there's definitely an internal state revenue that would cater for such things like that. Not forgetting that there is a federal allocation that would also come to the state. But notwithstanding, looking at everything that is happening within the state, the tension going on started from I think October, if I'm not mistaken, where the current minister for Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory,
the former governor
of Rivers State, and the current minister of the FCT, with the current governor of the state having a heated and back-to-back what we call in Big Brother Naija Gbasgbos going on.
But it made us feel like it's a father and son thing.
Yeah, at the beginning of when this whole thing started and the tension that sprouted, that people were like, oh, it's a father and son thing, and they would find a way to resolve it. And people felt like maybe Fubara would definitely bend a knee and just apologize, then maybe everything would go back to normal. But we've seen that, yes, power, they say, maybe corrupt, But for me, I would say that when you find yourself in a place of power, I think it tends to give you an eye opener to the things that you might not be seeing when you are
when
yeah
in that power.
yeah, definitely. So maybe before Fubara came into power, there are some kind of agreements they made. Yeah, and when
you would say maybe it's ignorantly because he wasn't exposed to some kind of information and test of the power.
Yeah, definitely. So I think coming into this one, Fubara was like, okay, there are a whole lot of things going on in the state and a whole lot of tension sprouting from antecedents down onto this point, and we saw the demolition of the River State House of Assembly, like that was happening. I think that started yesterday, or 2 days ago, if I'm not mistaken, with everything happening in the state, and we saw some House member, 27 of them, defect from PDP to APC, and there has been tension sprouting up in the state with news flying around that even the current Minister of FCT would at some point defect to APC. But we've not seen that happen yet, but people are saying yes, news are flying around that it might happen in the next coming days, weeks or months, as the case may be. Now, concerning the lawmakers holding plenary, I think there was a court injunction that gave the current Speaker of the House, Right Honorable Edison, declaring him the Speaker of the House, upholding the in-house election, and still maintaining that he is the Speaker of the River State House of Assembly. Meanwhile, there is another factional body headed by Right Honorable Amai Wule currently, and these other 27 persons, after this incident happened of the demolition of the River State House of Assembly, they held a plenary and saying that the current governor of the state was wrong and whatever thing that he's doing currently is not right.
Even when the court has accepted that the process which the governor is treading is right.
Yeah, definitely, because prior on to this time, if we could remember vividly, there was sort of arson that happened in the River State House of Assembly where some part of the building was burnt, and we hear that it was going to be renovated. That was the idea of the news that came out immediately the incident happened, that there was going to be a sort of renovation that is going to take place in the River State House of Assembly building.
And now we all of a sudden from the renovation to demolition.
Yeah, according to the governor and this press statement that was given out, they said that the building was destroyed beyond repairs, so it's better if it was a total demolition so that the structure can be brought up back again from scratch, so you give it a better look, a different standard. And he has also provided a place in the government house for lawmakers to meet and have their plenaries and meeting. But these other persons that defected from PDP to APC, it's something else, because they are not only fighting the current governor, but also fighting the other members of the House of Reps, saying that whatever they are doing currently is not does not hold waters. Meanwhile, the court injunction that was given by the court as at last month states that Mr. Edison is the current Speaker of the House of Assembly. Now, moving away from that, we also saw that the governor also approved the 800 billion naira bill appropriated for appropriation bill for the state to carry out different things or projects that he wishes to carry out in come 2024. And most of the project, according to what was released on the papers, he was talking about road construction and terms of connectivity of the Ikwere Road and all of that.
Linking them together.
Yeah, linking them together, making it for easy access for commuters and also residents of the state. But for me, I feel like would that create employment? I don't know, maybe to an extent in a little period of time. But we as Nigerians, in every state that we find ourselves, we want something that would hold waters, that would stand the test of time. It also affects when it comes to employment, giving out employment to citizens. Why not make it a long term instead of a short term? Why not focus on things that would actually keep people in office for a longer period of time. Because let's say this construction project span for a space of a year. So after a year, what are these people going to fall back on? Are they still going to wait for other projects coming out instead of giving them something that will keep them for a longer span of time, giving them job security for a longer period of time? So these are the things that we are looking at, and not just coming out to say you have a project at hand with the sum of 800 billion naira to cover for the whole 2024 budget, and you're telling us all you have in plan, or what you're saying currently at the moment, is giving us good roads. I think Nigerians or the people of Rivers State has gone past that era at this point in time, and they should look for things that would create more job employment and serenity in terms of security, fighting insecurity in the state, because a whole lot has been happening leading from cultism and illegal bunkering acts going on in the state. So I think these are the areas that the governor should be looking at instead of giving us good roads. Even from from the past governments, they have been building flyovers and doing roads. So what are the changes? Yeah, we know for a fact, yes, there is, to an extent, it reduces traffic and all of that, but what else do you have to offer?
If the people do not, and how do they buy cars that will run on those roads?
On those roads, definitely. Why come out with the same initiative, same as the past government? Why not come out and look at, okay, I want to do something different from the past? We know for a fact that in the world globally today, tech is something that I feel like every other, it's taking a big space in the world market, and all other sectors wouldn't be a match come in the next 4, 5 to 6 years. So why not our government, even from the state, tend to channel to that sector and tend to improve tech life in terms of productivity and other spheres of our lives here in the state.
Exactly. All right, let's move away from that story and look at the next newspaper for the day. We're looking at the Daily Trust newspaper. We see at the top here it reads, Nigeria, other developing countries spent $443 billion on debt servicing, says World Bank. Details is found on page 23. FIFA approves 30 Nigerian referees for 2024 competition. Details of the story is found on page 39 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Fubara signs 2024 budget into law 24 hours after presentation. Details is found on page 33. We see at the bottom here it reads, Naira scarcity, POS agents hack charge by 100%. This thing we talked about earlier on.
Yeah, a whole lot of things has been happening lately, and like I said earlier in our previous meeting, I told you that every Nigerian at this point in time, I feel like this is the best time for you to, I don't know if I should say, hoard your Naira in whatever way that you can.
Okay, you have the motion that they should hoard Naira.
Yeah, definitely, because like the papers read, POS agents are hiking the price of recharge in terms of what they charge. Now you go to withdraw a sum of, let's say, 5,000 naira. On the norms we pay 100 naira, but now you're hearing it's 200 naira, and the more it keeps on going, it keeps on increasing as the days goes by. As we move closer to Christmas period, we're already sniffing it rather, but as we draw closer to that period, we tend to find out that money scarcity will become the talk of the day. POS agents are going to increase. Everybody saw what happened during the time where we had the whole Emefiele holding the Naira, and the removal of the old Naira notes during the election, that there is a new Naira note that is going to be the only legal tender that is accepted by all banks and should be
for them to make the old Naira a legal tender again.
Now we saw the, would I call it a crisis? Because definitely it turned out to be something else in every part of Nigeria. You could find out in Benin there were loss of lives, burning of banks, even in Lagos.
Some persons as early as 3 a.m. some persons would be at the bank. Some persons even sleep there.
I could speak for myself. I remember back then my dad would be like, as early as 5 a.m. go to the bank, go and wait on a queue in front of the ATM, waiting for banks to come and load their ATM so that you can withdraw money. Now, funny enough, even at that time, it's even happening currently. We found out that if I'm using First Bank and I go to withdraw money from Zenith Bank ATM machine, it's going to pay me not more than 5,000 naira.
There's a limit.
There is a limit placed on every First Bank users or other bank users that are coming to another bank to use their ATM machine. And if you are banking with such bank, they'll tell you that you can only withdraw 20,000 naira for your own money that you kept in the bank, or probably there's an emergency that you need that money for. So what are you going to do at that point in time? So these are the things we are looking for, and we hope doesn't come to light at this point in time.
Exactly. All right, still on the newspapers. Kayamo sacks 33 aviation directors appointed by Sirika. Sub-story under that reads, removal not surprising, says Roundtable. Another sub-story under that reads, officials removed while overseas. Minister advised to harmonize departments. This is the story is found on page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper, and that's all we'll be taking on the Daily Trust. I'd like your thoughts on the story. Kayamo sacks 33 aviation directors.
Yeah, funny enough, it's based on now before the new government came into power, where we were at the Buhari-led government. We saw that the governor, the senator, current senator, who was then Minister of Aviation, a few weeks to the end of that government, made an appointment of 33 directors into the aviation sectors. These are directors that we are put in place to carry out some basic activities in the ministries. But being that as it may, with the new minister coming into power, that's Festus Keyamo, he sat back and felt like, okay, there needs to be a kind of cleanup and reshuffling. And even with the statement that came out, people felt like it was a good one, because these 33 directors that were sacked came into office just a week to the end of that government. So,
Exactly.
And most
so it's
of
more like not fitting in there.
Yeah, definitely. People saw it as a situation whereby the then minister was using it to compensate them, maybe because if they were that important at that point in time, why not put them into your government earlier, where you are on seats, and not when you are transiting government. So it was a good one for the Minister of Aviation, looking at the things happening currently in our aviation industry at the moment, with a whole lot of buzzing and so many things happening currently. The price of aviation gas, and also the prices of Nigerians trying to fly from one state to another. And we feel like these directors should actually, if they knew what they were doing, they should be able to put their heads together and make things, a resolution that will make things easy for Nigerians. But looking at the current state of things there in the country, nothing has been done. So we felt like, why hold a position where you cannot function? Why hold a position?
Exactly. Some of this sub-story under here reads, officials removed while overseas, meaning some of them were not even in the country.
Yeah, according to that report, some of them went out of the country with the minister on a particular function that was held, I think, 2 days ago, and they were not even aware. According to the report, they were together, even last week, they were together in a meeting, and this person had no idea.
Don't you feel it's more like a betrayal thing?
Maybe. For me, it's a two-way thing. Maybe they should have been informed
ahead of time,
so they would prepare their mind. Okay, fine. The minister is going to retrench us of our duties and maybe give it to somebody else. So we should open our mind to new directives or new openings or new possibilities and plans out there. But on the second thought, what if this person were told that yes, you're going to be removed from office? And we know in Nigeria we have a system whereby it's a no man, who do you know? These persons could place call to some person higher office, and they could actually maintain their position. For the current Minister of Aviation, it's a good one, not looking at the fact that these persons were being put into office by the past minister. But I feel if they had carried out their duties diligently, they wouldn't be sacked.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. So whatever you have to offer the Nigerian citizens, whatever office you hold, you should be able to perform, do your duties, and give back to the people that put you in that office, as the case may be. It's an opportunity. We have 1,000,001 people looking for such opportunities.
Exactly. And if you show your competence.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're not making use of it as you should, then why are you there? And it was also said most of the people that are even in that office don't even have the portfolio of being there. Yeah, definitely, because if you don't have what it takes to be in the aviation industry or ministry, yeah, so why are you there? But funny enough, even our current Minister of Aviation has no knowledge or any study background that links as regards to aviation. So, but the thing is that if you are diligent and you want to serve and you're willing to work, even if you have the tiniest of knowledge about a particular thing, but your mindset and your goal for service gives you that drive to want to know more, make you do your research. And I feel that is one thing the current minister has done, looking at the ministry in general and picking out these loopholes who are just occupying space and not performing or carrying out their duties. So why are you there? Take them out of there and put the people that are willing to do this job and make your tenure as a Minister of Aviation worthwhile, productive, and giving Nigerians what they truly deserve.
Exactly. All right, we'll go for a very quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll look at the last newspaper for the day. So stay tuned.
Hey there. Are you looking to record your videos, do your voiceovers, and take your professional pictures? Look no further. With our state-of-the-art newsroom, photography, kitchen for our food content creators, and exclusive children's studio, we certainly can deliver the best studio experience. Our carefully designed studio space can bring your diverse creative content ideas to life. We aim to consistently serve value to our customers far and wide. Come, let Tharv Media give life to your dreams. Tharv Media, a slice of infotainment.
All right, welcome back from that very quick break. Without wasting much of our time, we look at the last newspaper for the day. We're looking at the Daily Sun newspaper, and it leading 2024 INEC protests 4 billion naira allocation, demands 89 billion naira. Details of the story is found on page 6 of the Daily Sun newspaper. War without end in Rivers. Sub-story under that reads, defected lawmakers dares Governor Fubara hold sitting in Port Harcourt. Another sub-story under that reads, Attorney General, 4 orders resign. Last sub-story under that reads, APC admits collapse of Tinubu's intervention. Governor signs 2024 budget. Details is found on page 24 of the Daily Sun newspaper. We see at the bottom story here reads, shake-up in aviation as federal government sacks FAN, NAMA, MDs, directors. This is found on page 23 of the Daily Sun newspaper. We see here at the top story reads, anxiety in Southeast over Kanu as Supreme Court rules today. Sub-story under this headline reads, sit-at-home victims, family slam federal government, Southeast governors over alleged abandonment. What are your thoughts over that?
Honestly speaking, the Daily Sun newspaper, I feel like the headlines on the front page is super interesting and
exactly
catchy
what I wanted to say.
There's a whole lot of buzz and controversy filled with it, ranging from the INEC protests over their budget or what they intend to use for the next 2024 year, and also looking at the River State wars and everything. Going back to that River State war, there was also a court injunction that also stopped the 27 House member from holding a sitting, but they went against it. So it's just a whole back and forth, going against the law, countering attack. Man, it's a whole lot of tension in this month of December. Now, looking at the Nnamdi Kanu case that is we are waiting for the court judgment that is going to come out later today, and we hope something good comes out, because the whole of the Southeast is under high tension in terms of what would be the judgment. Because knowing fully well from antecedents where Nnamdi Kanu was being brought back to Nigeria against his will, and we saw that the Nigerian federal government broke the international law in terms of a person's rights and all of that, sovereignty of environment and all of that. We also found out that owing to the appeal court judgment as at October 2022 that states that he should be released on bail, but we also found out that the federal government also went against the court injunction. So we know for a fact that the government is the law, but is the government above the law?
They're not.
How do you give a constitution that its citizens should follow
and not abide to it.
and not abiding to that same constitution. Because when the judges the lawyers in court interpreted the section of the law, and it states for his release, and the judgment was pronounced by the appeal court, we felt that Nnamdi Kanu will be released on bail and be free to go. And maybe if there is another underneath activities or other would I say evidence that the federal government would use to tend to keep him back in the cell, they should be brought forth.
They should have made it
they should have made it known, but nothing else was said, and he was asked to be released on bail, but federal government didn't uphold to that.
I feel like it was more or less like a personal beef between Kanu and the Buhari government, Buhari in person, because we know of for real that Kanu really trolled Buhari, ranging from information where he said Buhari was dead, the ear problem, and all that.
For me, I feel it's more about the whole IPOB, the fact where they want their freedom as Biafrans, they want an independent state, and he has been the one on the forefront pushing for this. And when he saw that it was not forthcoming and there was a whole chaos and he had to leave the country, and Nigerians felt that he was the one instigating some sort of violence and unrest and tension in the Southeast, with the sit-at-home curfew always coming up weekly, every Mondays in major states of the Southeast, almost all the states.
How much loss, how much revenue the Southeast loses every day.
Now, what people of the Southeast, like the victims that were affected, as at I think last year, where some of them came out, where their governors and the federal government were like, no, there is no need for sit-at-home, you guys should go about your business and all of that. And people went about their business on that particular day, and they were ambushed and attacked by masked men saying they were part of the IPOB. Some persons were shot at, beaten. There was a particular victim that was asked by these people, shot at both ties, and currently he's not been able to get back to his normal state of life, going about his daily activities like he would have wanted to. And these people are crying that the state government and the federal government have forgotten about them. They felt that since it was the federal government that asked them to go out and not to acknowledge the sit-at-home curfew that was being given by the Nnamdi Kanu people here in Nigeria, the curfew that was set to hold every week, and you guys asked them to go about their business, and they were being attacked, and some of them even lost their lives. So why don't you go back and compensate them? Because if you're doing that with some families that are affected by Boko Haram in the north, why not do the same with people? Are they not part of Nigerians? Are they not citizens that voted you into power? So it's more like they feel there's some sort of segregation of people that are beneficiaries of things that happens like this, in terms of casualties of war or terrorism or insecurities happening in our country. If something like this were to happen in the north, we found out that government will go there and give compensations to family that have been affected. But if with the same thing happening now in the Southeast, these families are coming out to say, why are we not being compensated? Why are we not being assisted to go back to our basic needs and our daily activities? Because people that were affected by this act, we are breadwinners of the family. Exactly. So how do their families cope and feed with their current situation at this point in time? So they are saying, in as much as this federal government and state government has not come out to their aid at this point in time, they hope, on the other hand, that a fair judgment is being given to Nnamdi Kanu and it's being released, so that the tension in the Southeast is going to reduce at this point in time. Because if the ruling or judgment goes otherwise, they fear for something worse to happen in the Southeast.
Okay, in your own opinion, do you think if he's been released, the unrest in the Southeast would reduce? And do you think the Monday sit-at-homes will be cancelled?
I don't know. Maybe it will, maybe it will not. I am not Nnamdi Kanu at this point in time, and I am not part of the IPOB revolution or whatever. But if I am to say, with the whole tension and buzzing that is happening around the states, we are currently, owing from the court ruling from last year, and when it wasn't opposed, we saw that there was more tension at that point in time when it wasn't released by the federal government. So if the Supreme Court, which is the apex court in Nigeria, says otherwise from the ruling of the appeal court, then we don't know what might happen in major states of the Southeast. Maybe there will be more upset and unrest, or probably if Kanu is being released, peace might go back to the state and people of the state might be in comfort going about their business. And I think the sit-at-home thing would not be necessary as it is currently at this point in time, because for me, I feel the sit-at-home is more like a kind of remembrance that they have a powerful person of who is leading the whole idea, the whole vision in government custody. So every week, it's more like paying respect to him and the idea or the vision of IPOB in general.
Exactly. One last question. I want you to make a quick guess. Do you think he would be released today or not?
Yeah, if we are to follow the rule of law as it states, and the Constitution and what it says, and its interpretation, just like the lawyers would and the judge, I hope it does, definitely it should be released.
Exactly. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Bright. This is where we draw the curtains for today. All right. Like I said earlier, you too can also be a part of the show. Turn on the notification button, like our videos, subscribe, follow us across all our social media handles so that you get notifications from videos and updates from us. I am Obed Jerry, your host for today, and with me here is Bright Ekong.
Thank you
very much. And this has been the newspaper review here on TAP TV.